Rocketeers, and welcome to today's Read Aloud. Now for Read Aloud today, we are going to be reading a book titled The Day the Crayons Quit. Now I know that's the title of the book because I can look on the front cover. Let's see our front cover so to remind ourselves what we can find on the front cover. The title's the name of the book. The title's the name of the book. On the front cover, the title's the name of the book. The author wrote the book. The author wrote the book. On the front cover, the author wrote the book. The illustrator drew the pictures. The illustrator drew the pictures. On the front cover, the illustrator drew the pictures. So I see that the title of the book, the name of the book, is The Day the Crayons Quit. The author is Drew Daywalt. That means Drew Daywalt is the person who wrote the book. And the illustrator's name is upside down because it's on a sign that's being carried upside down by the green crayon. The illustrator's name is Oliver Jeffers. All right, I am going to make a prediction about whether this is a fiction book or a nonfiction book. Remember, fiction means imagination. The author made it up. The author made it up. Nonfiction tells us information about the world around us, about the world around us. So, do you think this is a fiction book or a nonfiction book? I see some crayons that are protesting and talking. Do crayons really have faces? Do they really talk? No, crayons don't really talk and they don't really have faces. So because in this book, crayons have faces and they talk, I'm going to guess that this is going to be a fiction book. I'm predicting that this is a fiction book because it comes from imagination and it's made up. All right, in this book, we're going to meet a boy named Duncan. Now, Duncan has a problem. Duncan wants to color with his crayons, but something's keeping him from being able to do that. Let's find out what it is. The Day the Crayons Quit by Drew Daywalt. Pictures by Oliver Jeffers. I see the title page. That's the page with the title before the story begins. One day in class, Duncan went to take out his crayons and found a stack of letters with his name on them. He was looking for his crayons, but he found some letters instead. Hey, Duncan, it's me, Red Crayon. We need to talk. You make me work harder than any of your other crayons. All year long, I wear myself out coloring fire engines, apples, strawberries, and everything else that's red. I even work on holidays. I have to color all the Santas at Christmas and all the hearts on Valentine's Day. I need a rest. Your overworked friend, Red Crayon. Sounds like Red Crayon doesn't want to be used by Duncan anymore because he thinks he's used too much. Dear Duncan, all right, listen. I love that I'm your favorite crayon for grapes, dragons, and wizards hats, but it makes me crazy that so much of my gorgeous color goes outside the lines. If you don't start coloring inside the lines soon, I'm going to completely lose it. Your very neat friend, Purple Crayon. Sounds like Purple Crayon is not happy either, but for a different reason. Dear Duncan, I'm tired of being called light brown or dark tan because I am neither. I am beige and I am proud. I'm also tired of being second place to Mr. Brown Crayon. It's not fair that Brown gets all the bears, ponies, and puppies, while the only thing I get are turkey dinners, if I'm lucky, and wheat. And let's be honest, when was the last time you saw a kid excited about coloring wheat? Your beige friend, Beige Crayon. Sounds like Beige Crayon, Purple Crayon, and Red Crayon are all unhappy with the way they've been used, but they're unhappy for different reasons. Duncan! Gray Crayon here. You're killing me. I know you love elephants, and I know that elephants are gray. But that's a lot of space to color in all by myself. And don't even get me started on your rhinos, hippos, and humpback whales. You know how tired I am after handling one of those things. Such big animals. Baby penguins are gray, you know. So are very tiny rocks, pebbles. How about one of those once in a while to give me a break? Your very tired friend, Gray Crayon. Sounds like Gray Crayon's complaint is kind of similar to Red Crayon's. They both feel very tired because they're used so much. Dear Duncan, you color with me, but why? Most of the time, I'm the same color as the page you're using me on. White. If I didn't have a black outline, you wouldn't even know I was there. I'm not even in the rainbow. I'm only used to color snow or to fill in empty space between other things. And it leaves me feeling, well, empty. We need to talk. Your empty friend, White Crayon. And over here on this picture, I see one of Duncan's pictures that he drew with the white crayon, White Cat in the Snow by Duncan. Hi, Duncan. I hate being used to draw the outline of things. Things that are colored in by other colors, all of which think they're brighter than me. It's not fair when you use me to draw a nice beach ball and then fill in the colors of the ball with all the other crayons. How about a black beach ball sometime? Is that too much to ask? Your friend, Black Crayon. Now I'm noticing a lot of repetition here. Remember, repetition is when the same thing happens over and over and over again. What is repeating in this book? Where is the repetition? That's right. What is repeating is that all of the crayons are unhappy with the way they've been used by Duncan. And they're unhappy because he keeps using them in the same couple of ways, in the same few ways. Let's keep going. Dear Duncan, as Green Crayon, I am writing for two reasons. One is to say that I like my workload of crocodiles, trees, and dinosaurs and frogs. I have no problems and wish to congratulate you on a very successful coloring things green career so far. The second reason I write is for my friends, Yellow Crayon and Orange Crayon, who are no longer speaking to each other. Both crayons feel they should be the color of the sun. Please settle this soon because they're driving the rest of us crazy. Your happy friend, Green Crayon. Seems like Green Crayon is different from all the other crayons. Green Crayon is actually very happy with the way that she's been used. But it sounds like Yellow and Orange have a problem. Dear Duncan, Yellow Crayon here. I need you to tell Orange Crayon that I am the color of the sun. I would tell him, but we are no longer speaking. And I can prove I'm the color of the sun too. Last Tuesday, you used me to color in the sun on your Happy Farm coloring book. In case you've forgotten, it's on page 7. You can't miss me. I'm shining down brilliantly on a field of yellow corn. Your pal and the true color of the sun, Yellow Crayon. Yellow Crayon is making a pretty persuasive argument for why she should be the color of the sun. Let's see if Orange Crayon has anything to say for herself. Dear Duncan, I see Yellow Crayon already talked to you. the big whiner. Anyway, could you please tell Mr. Tattletale that he is not the color of the sun? I would, but we're no longer speaking. We both know I am clearly the color of the sun because on Thursday, you used me to color the sun on both the Monkey Island and the Meet the Zookeeper pages in your Day at the Zoo coloring book. Aren't you glad I'm here? Huh. Your pal and the real color of the sun, Orange Crayon. Orange Crayon is making a pretty good argument too. Yellow Crayon said that she was used for the Happy Farm coloring page, but Orange Crayon said, look, I was actually used for the sun on 2 pages, Meet the Zookeeper and Monkey Island. So unlike the rest of the crayons, it sounds like yellow and orange are having problems because they're having problems with each other. Dear Duncan, it has been great being your favorite color this past year, and the year before, and the year before that. I have really enjoyed all those oceans, lakes, rivers, raindrops, rain clouds, and clear skies. But the bad news is that I am so short and stubby. I can't even see over the railing in the crayon box anymore. I need a break. Your very stubby friend, Blue Crayon. How short Blue Crayon is. Stubby is another word for short, for something that's short that should be long. Blue Crayon's problem sounds a lot like red crayon and gray crayons. She's been used so much that she's become very stubby. Duncan, okay, listen here, kid. You have not used me once in the past year. It's because you think I am a girl's color, isn't it? Speaking of which, please tell your little sister I said thank you for using me to color in her Little Princess coloring book. I think she did a fabulous job of staying inside the lines. Now, back to us. Could you please use me sometime to color the occasional pink dinosaur or monster or cowboy? Goodness knows they could use a splash of color. Your unused friend, Pink Crayon. So unlike blue and red and gray, who are upset because they're used too much, Pink is upset because she's not used at all by Duncan. Hey, Duncan. It's me, Peach Crayon. Why did you peel off my paper wrapping? Now I'm naked and too embarrassed to leave the crayon box. I don't even have any underwear. How would you like to go to school naked? I need some clothes. Help! Your naked friend, Peach Crayon. Ooh. Sounds like Peach Crayon's complaint isn't even about how she's used to color. It's about the fact that Duncan took away her paper wrapping. Let's see. Let's pause here and ask ourselves, what is Duncan's problem? What is the problem that Duncan is facing? Remember, use your complete sentence. Duncan's problem is... That's a good idea. I think Duncan's problem is that he wants to color, but all of his crayons have quit because they are not happy with the way they're being used. Why aren't the crayons happy? Remember, use your complete sentence. The crayons are not happy because... Yeah. Those are some really good ideas. Let's look back through the book to help you remember. How do you know? That's right. I think that the crayons are all not happy for different reasons. So for example, red is not happy because she's used too much. Purple is not happy because Duncan doesn't color inside the lines. Beige is tired of being overlooked. And I know this because I looked back through my book and I saw in the pictures the way that the crayons are feeling, and I read in the words in the text why they were feeling that way. For example, I see in this picture that black looks like she's pleading for Duncan to use her differently. And then when I read the text, when I read the words, I can tell why. Remember, we can always justify our answers. We can always back up our answers, explain our answers by going back through the book. All right, let's see if Duncan can solve his problem and help make the crayons happy again. Well, poor Duncan just wanted to color. And of course he wanted his crayons to be happy. And that gave him an idea. I wonder what Duncan's idea is. What would you do to help make the crayons happy again? Let's see what Duncan does. Wow, look at this new picture that Duncan just drew. Do you see how he helped each of the crayons with what they were complaining about? Remember, red crayon didn't want to be used so much, so Duncan didn't use him to color anything big. And he didn't use gray to color anything big either. He colored inside the lines for his purple crayon friend, and he made a pink monster for his pink crayon friend. Black crayon was complaining about how he only ever gets to outline things, so Duncan made sure that he could be a rainbow or a beach ball. And I see over here that blue was very, very tired from being all the color and all the sky all the time. So Duncan made blue the road instead. What are some of the other ways that Duncan helped solve the crayons' problems? Yeah. And because he was able to help solve all the crayons' problems, he's also able to solve his own problems because the crayons would be happy and he could color with them. When Duncan showed his teacher his new picture, she gave him an A for coloring and an A+ for creativity. The end. So, what can we learn from this story, The Day the Crayons Quit? Type your answer below in the comments, or you can say your answer and have your family or your parents help you type your answer in. What can we learn from this story? Pause the video if you need more time to think or if you need more time to talk about what you can learn from this story. What I learned from this story is that sometimes we need to think outside the box. That means we need to think about things in a different way from how we're used to. So for example, Duncan was used to making the water blue all the time. But sometimes we need to be more creative and think about things differently. For example, the water could maybe be green. A whale could maybe be orange. So I learned from this book that it's important to be creative and to think about things in ways that we aren't used to. All right, I can't wait to hear and read your ideas about what you learned from this book down below in the comments. So make sure you have someone help you write them out so I can read them, okay? All right, I will see you later. Thanks for reading with me.